Welcome to the Port Charles Update with your hosts, Mish and Mel.
Hello. Hello. Wow, you're laughing before I even called you.
I just anticipated something funny would happen because,
Are
I
you
just,
ready?
oh my gosh, I'm so ready. Would you like me to start with the internet chatter that I've noticed this week?
Sure.
So we do not communicate, but I can also feel like I feel your thoughts and also I see your posts on Instagram. So I
Oh,
feel like,
well, that's I could see how that could be a hint.
well, it's like I watch the episode, I'm like, okay, what's Mish gonna post about? And then I'm like, okay, there's these top things that happen in this episode, like what's gonna happen. So most of the time I'm pretty accurate at what you're gonna post.
Maybe tell
But
me because sometimes I don't even know.
so the top 3
Yeah.
mega chatter all over the internet
Okay.
are Windermere. Is it
Oh,
a creepy castle? Is it a museum?
okay.
That's one.
So when it popped up, I wrote, "That's a no for me." That's what I wrote as my note. I'm like, "That's not at
What?
all. I'm gonna pretend I didn't see this. That's not Windermere. It was a castle. It was like, where's the parapet? Like we've
Parapet!
seen
That's
the
exactly what I
outside."
wrote.
I'm like, "It's gray, first of all." So yeah, that was a no for me.
But that's what I wrote. I'm like, excuse me, parapet?
But it was wrong. Like it was immediately wrong.
So many people, like there were articles, there
Taken
was
aback.
hundreds and thousands of comments through various different soap opera pages. It was wild. Then
But
there
do you
was,
think
yeah,
like,
me.
because every week there's a new
Yes.
visual. Like, do you think they hired someone? They're like, "Add more town." Like, do you think that there was, like, a general hospital meeting? They're like, "Okay, so we got a lot of storylines, a lot of open things. We don't know where we're going with this, but what we need is town, image of town, and maybe
So
we'll buy what we're selling." Like, I don't know.
over time, think about all of the things they've overcome, all of the storylines they've had. And one of the things we've talked about a lot is like the lay of the land. Like, why is somebody walking 3 steps to this place, but the other
Yeah.
place is located? So I feel like, the missing piece to that. But they said, we want to plan town, but we're going to hire an intern who is not of the right age, who watched the soap opera long enough to
Wow.
create said town.
Wow. Wow. What was number 2?
Number 2, okay, the last one is like the big one, but number 2 was, oh my god, sorry, Bit and Jason's off-screen lovemaking.
It didn't happen for me. I'm sorry
Well, all of a
that
sudden I see
like,
shoulders, but
I'm
he's fully dressed in the chair.
I'm just gonna no, for me, wait till we get into it, but a lot of their story has been happening off screen apparently. But anyways,
Oh my gosh, some of the like, it was just so funny, like, no montage, and we're supposed to believe that they did something, like,
no,
people are upset, okay?
seriously, it never even crossed my mind. When I saw her shoulders, I was just like, "All right." I know that, like, when you're really cold, it's like human to human contact.
Yes, yes.
I figured she was trying it by herself. I never once thought that he touched her. I was like, "He's where I need him to be. She's over there." Never occurred to me. These defenses are strong in my head. Okay?
Okay, I can't remember if this is the right word. You can help me. You're much more wordier than I am. So
Okay.
lineage. Lineage is when we're looking at like basically your family line, right?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. Oh my word. Do you know how many family trees I've seen on the internet about Danny and Charlotte and the debates that are going on about the percentage of DNA they share? It is wild out there, people.
What?
Legit.
Because I like, the only thing I noted was, "Oh, it's so cool." Oh, no, it wasn't even about them. It was about Gio and Emma. Go on. Go on. What's the link? What's the link? I'm very concerned now because
So
I
apparently,
felt that they
like,
were safe.
so Victor and
Yeah?
so there's two different groups that are fighting right now.
Because Daddy's kind of a Cassadine.
Because Danny is related to Sam, who's
Oh,
related to Alexis, who's a Cassadine.
yes.
Okay.
Wait. Okay, hold on a second. Hold on a second. But you probably know because you look, so I'm just guessing.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Tell me, tell
so
me.
you have Sam is Danny's mom. Alexis is, Sam's mom. Alexis's parents, is her mom who was with Helena's husband, which was what was his name? It's not Da
Oh,
Vinci, but it
shoot, I
sounds
had
really
seen it and I saw it
Itzkovitz,
recently.
the stock of,
Yes, yes, something like this.
it was Oh, I'm annoyed. I want to guess it. I want to guess it. I think that's what everyone else wants.
We're here
They
all
want
night,
us
guys.
they want us for us to stall the whole podcast so I could figure this out. Alexis' dad, General Hospital. I'm sure that's what he referred to himself as. I'm dad. This is my wife, Elena. I cheated on her. Okay, Alexa. Mikos. Well,
Yes,
didn't sound as dramatic as what I thought. Okay, Mikos Cassadine is her dad. So who's Victor to Mikos?
they're brothers?
They are brothers because Helena cheated on her husband with someone else. I don't know why that makes him a brother. I okay, Mikos and Victor. Well, that's troubling.
So people are saying they're
That's
second
troubling.
cousins twice removed. I don't know what that means, guys.
I literally just saw a reel on this. I literally saw someone explain what twice removed was.
So people are concerned and they're not impressed.
Okay, so brothers, yes.
Yes.
Okay. So that's concerning.
Yeah, a
That's
lot of people are
concerning.
very concerned.
Okay, I'm gonna like when we talk about them later, I'm gonna stick to how I see them
For
and
sure.
why I'm living it.
Yeah,
But
same.
gonna look at it different though. I can't lie. I don't think I could forget that I know this now.
So I'm just going to send you a little visual and, potentially we can share this if we recreate our own
Okay.
to help us understand
Yeah.
what's going on.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so those were this week's internet chatters.
That's some big chatter.
Mhm.
Wow. Meanwhile, I thought Carly talking to Jens was big chatter. I was like, what is she doing? This is crazy. Crazy town.
It was crazy town because we're seeing this other side to Carly where she's and dipping in her toe into this spy world and maintaining face, but still has to kind of be Carly. So the fact that he himself has done a lot of reading on Carly and expected her to come to him about breaking up his son's relationship is hilarious.
I mean, I think most people probably would have figured it's the only reason because they don't
Mhm.
have business, right? If anything, they have a lot. She has so much reason to hate him. So she's going to work with him on something. It would be that. But it was just the fact of watching Carly having calculated things,
Mhm.
right? The fact that he recognized that she let him show up to the Metro Court. I think that's
Yes.
also what kind of got me was the fact that she might not be in Sunny's world anymore, but she does understand the concept of power, favor is owed. So that was really interesting. He
Mhm.
offered to help, but obviously she wasn't going to show up that night because I had ideas of where I wanted her to be in the storm.
Okay. Yes.
But the thing is, Brick witnesses this, right? Brick is there being like, why are you talking to him? And I was just curious as to this catch up with Brick about like what she would be comfortable telling him, right? Because she's gone completely rogue. Nobody from their little bubble has any idea what she's up to.
Yes, exactly.
I think I just loved and I was really entertained by those scenes with Brick himself, like him and Carly are always cute, but also just like jaxing them together. I think my favorite was because I mean Brick was there visiting and getting to interact with all his favorite people. So it started with Carly, but like I loved his interactions with Jordan. I wanted nothing more than for Curtis to show up and see all of that.
But I love it because Jordan, even though she's with Curtis, she still gets kind of giggly around Breck, which is not normal Jordan.
No, it's really not. So I thought that that was so funny that she didn't like hold back for Curtis at all. And there is something kind of special, I guess you could say, like about Brick, that they don't mind flirting with him in front of their men.
That's so true.
But I love that she didn't back off or anything like that. And, that they didn't kind of shift their dynamic just because Curtis showed up. And it was really funny because he had assumed that she was still with Isaiah.
Yes.
So that was spectacular. I have to say I love that. The like just briefly like Jordan and Curtis, I mean, look, any chance I get, I'm going to take it to poke fun just a little bit. But when Curtis was reminding Jordan in public that he almost took Drew's life,
Yeah.
I just couldn't because I was like, he's being so dramatic. And I have a
Yes.
picture where like Jordan has a reaction to this because it's kind of a big thing to say out loud. But all I kept thinking was, yes, Curtis, We're all aware you almost sent a wire transfer and then didn't. Like, it's not like you were gonna do it yourself.
No, it's like you're trying to figure out, is he just trying to look tough and
Yes.
intimidating because Brick was there and he's just trying to like save face? And you're like, dude, it was just the most ridiculous thing ever.
Absolutely, because in that moment, I'm like, "You are no Brick." You know, the fact
Mhm.
that she was going on, "He's somebody to know," it's like you called Miss Wu, like, okay, and you almost clicked a button on your phone. Okay? I'm not impressed. I'm not
No.
impressed. And then some other things he was saying that he wanted to put, like, Stroke Drew behind him, and now for him, it's like family comes first. And I'm like, "Now family comes first, because family never comes first when you're in it. Like, when you're married in and you're, like, married, family never comes first. Not
No.
until after. You know what happened? Like, this is what I feel needs to happen. Portia's brother needs to return to be an added support for Portia because it's just like a pilot at this point. And the
Yes.
thing is, Portia's brother is like a Curtis hater. And if he were to come back to town, he would do way more than Brick dared to do. He would full blown flirt with Jordan and make her question Curtis because they hooked up, Portia's brother and Jordan.
Like all the way.
So if he were to show up, that would cause just so much added drama. Like Curtis thinks he's dealing with a lot right now. Like, oh my gosh, I could have a baby. Imagine Portia's brother shows up and he becomes territorial over Portia.
It's my gosh, it's all gonna be so it would be a really interesting storyline because I still think that this whole, like, renewed relationship, it's just them living in the past and Jordan never having an opportunity to get closure.
I think so too, right? Because they literally had a fight and he went and bought a bar and got a new wife. So I think
Yeah.
for Jordan, perhaps she was like, I want to circle back here and see if we can finish this conversation. And let's see if she can finish it shortly. But I really think like they've got a lot going on, but I really feel we can use like a little bit more drama
Oh,
to what they've
100%.
got. So back to the whole Brick thing, which took me aback. So again, the
Okay.
meet with Carly, and I was just stunned when because he gets a phone call. And
Mhm.
at this point, they already showed, I think, Sunny and Jason or whatever. I think I was assuming them, but no
Yes.
idea that the person who called was Jocelyn.
Our little Jocelyn who just won't go to sleep.
I know, like deactivate already. And the thing about that was I was just a little surprised Brick didn't, I don't know, I mean, see through that. Like he did question her, but I was surprised at that he was like, "Okay," that he bought the whole school project thing and then proceeded to give her like all of this information. Like if Brick is who he says he is, even if he's like on his way out of town to beat the storm, he would know by now that the power was cut at Windermere.
Well, that's exactly it, and yes, you can have a blind spot for Joss because, like, who would expect her to be working for the WSB? But that is a oddly specific question,
I loved his face though, because he was so
right?
taken aback by the question. But I was just shocked at I was just so shocked that Jocelyn would have taken that risk to have called Brick over there. Because 'cause I'm just thinking, how is she exactly gonna, like, work her way around this? But she was direct and she came up with a lie, the whole student angle.
I think they're trying to show us that she actually is a good spy outside of the fact that, like, Daddy Brennan is telling her, like, "Yes, you're a super good spy, Joss."
I think so too. I think, like, again, every story will always have, like, a different pacing.
Mhm.
But I think that they need to show a growth between one mission to the next,
Yes.
right? You know, like, and I also think that by the time the truth comes out, she can't be like a rookie.
Oh,
You know,
100%.
I think that when it explodes, she can't be so new. She has to not just have been in for a long time, but like good.
Yes.
For it to have this, you know, like, conflict about because I mean, Carly thinks it's pretty simple, right? You just expose Brennan and snatch Jocelyn out of that life. So,
Mhm.
perhaps that's easy to do when someone is just, like, newly in it, but I think they have to make her more, in it for herself.
Seasoned.
Yeah, more seasoned, and maybe she has her own reasons to wanna stay, and maybe it'll be easier for her once everybody knows.
So, here's the thing, though, and I wanted to know what you thought about it. When 'cause, Anna was WSB and she's had a lot of experience of being my air quotes super good spy.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm fast forwarding ahead a little bit, but when Joss grabs Pelham's book and she's like, oh my gosh, just makes the connection of like Anna to Faith. Are they trying to tell us that Joss is going to be Anna level super spy?
Well, I think that's the thing, if I think Anna was. Like, I wasn't watching it back then, but she is a legend, and I have to believe that back then, she was legitimately a legend, not like now.
Okay.
So I have
That's what
to
I wanted to hear.
so I have to believe that early on, right, she was dedicated. I mean, she literally abandoned her child to be a
That's very
spy.
true,
So
very
I
true.
really do have to think that initially this was very much like she was a good spy, all of that stuff. But of course, just let's face it, the way she's depicted now, it's a lot more comical.
Yes.
Look, they've been drawing parallels between Anna and Jocelyn since this started. And I mean, look, the choice was Jocelyn and not Emma.
Yes.
And I don't see Emma really jumping into that world at all. So, yeah, I think they've definitely paired them both. And I think from Jocelyn's storyline, it did do something interesting. Like, I did really enjoy Anna reflecting on her life and about how she got
Yes.
pulled in. And there's been this relationship, I don't even know if you could call it that, but a thing that has been brewing between Jocelyn and Anna since Dex,
True.
right? Like they're not enemies, but there
Mhm.
was animosity.
Yes.
And then you have
Animosity.
Anna there was animosity. I love that. There was animosity, and I think moving forward, I think she'll definitely have a role in rescuing Anna, and I think their relationship might be really interesting because when this whole thing blows up, so will Jocelyn's cover, and I mean, look, I don't think she's been a secret spy for decades. I think everybody
Oh,
knows.
I'm gonna use your expression that you use quite often, that when Joss saves Anna, that's gonna be the passing of the baton.
Kind of, yeah, and
Yeah.
I think that we're gonna see honestly, I think it's gonna be a side of Anna that we'll like, not her actual crime solving or fighting or whatever she
Mhm.
thinks that is, but I think the conversations that she's going to have with Jocelyn are gonna be really interesting because they're gonna draw in her experiences, a lot of reflection. I think it'll be really interesting, but yeah, I think that passing of the baton and for sure, those 2 characters are linked.
Absolutely, it'd be really cool to for her to be, like, sort of in a mentorship position,
Yeah,
right? Where, like, there's
yeah,
not it's a very small club, and it's predominantly male,
yeah.
and Anna's a great resource for her and that she can kinda bounce ideas off of her or, when she's working through tough feelings, like, I'd love to see that relationship develop.
Yeah, no, I absolutely think it'd be such an interesting shift in their relationship from animosity to mentor. But what also adds the drama there is this bond between Anna and Jocelyn that will drive Emma crazy.
Oh, yeah, big time.
So the dynamics there make that really interesting.
Absolutely.
So there's a lot around this whole, you know, saving Jocelyn a mission according to Carly, right? There's a lot of moving pieces. There's so many moving pieces. But
Mhm.
let's talk about the pieces that were at the Metro Court, okay? So again, so we saw Carly interact with Jens. She had the whole brick thing, and then Charlotte and Lulu show up.
Yes.
So that's going to get really interesting. So the thing is, when Charlotte came to talk to Carly and started talking about perhaps we need like a cover, like a reason for me to come visit you, I thought of one babysitting.
I know, that was, like, the number one thing that popped in my head. I'm like, "Come on, Carly, think harder."
Right? Because she could have just argued, "I babysat for Laura, for my grandmother, and I took the toddler to
Exactly.
the park. I think Donna would be easier." And so they kept talking, and I was really glad that Charlotte trusted Carly to tell her about Sidwell,
Yeah, that was amazing.
right? So at least Carly had a chance to kinda calm her down on the Jens front, like, don't go after him with some teenage plan, right? Like, whatever you guys thought you were doing with the Dalton thing, maybe don't do that, but that interaction became something. So look, already just the relationship between Charlotte and Carly right now. Okay. Like, Carly understands how to handle a fiery daughter. And I
Yes,
guess maybe the explanation, her and Lulu are different, but also Carly's had a lot more practice. Lulu's been out of commission for 4 years. But that's the
true.
thing. Like, Carly knows who she is, but she can have a child and she uses her experience of herself to kind of manage that, right? So she often parents by giving them space, but always being there. And Lulu hasn't really figured out how to do that.
Yes.
And so we know that Charlotte has had a temporary mom. She's had Nina,
Yeah.
and she bonded with Nina. And I mean, obviously she loves Lulu, but they don't bond. Like, you know what I mean? They don't have like, I find beyond just finding out that's her mom and them trying to like cultivate a relationship, she had a
Yes.
natural relationship with Nina, and that's who she had spent a lot of time with. So already when I was seeing that, I could see the little family formation, if you will,
Okay.
like, look how that fits in this little trio. You know, she has her dad, she has Carly, Carly and Valentine can have one another. Like that's how I was
Yes.
starting to sort of see all those pieces.
Okay.
But when Charlotte left, like I could have hoped for nothing more, right? Her walking in and hearing all of that. Like, as it is, I was kind of surprised that it didn't hit Charlotte or Danny, for that matter,
Mhm.
that not only are they surprised that, let's say, oh, I didn't know Valentine and Carly were friends, but is no one paying attention to how intense this is that Carly is protecting Valentine from the guy she's dating?
Right? They're too young to figure that out.
Like, I just thought that that's kind of like the big thing of all of this. And
Right.
so Charlotte overhears, and that's huge because I was already thinking this whole, you know, Carly taking something really significant for Nina. She does value Charlotte.
Yes.
And I feel like that relationship is done.
So done. Oh my gosh. No going back.
Right? Because, I mean, like, at some point, either Nina will explain it to her or Charlotte will figure out that Nina explicitly told her to not tell so she wouldn't have to divulge. But I honestly didn't think until I overheard that conversation that Brennan even had anything over Nina anymore because the trial was over. But then when he brought up the custody, yeah, I could
Yeah.
see Nina folding to do whatever she has to do to protect Willow. And that's something that Charlotte verbalized to Danny. She said,
Mhm.
Nina would do anything to protect her. That's her daughter, but I was her daughter for a little while
It was
too.
so sad when she said that.
And when she said that, I'm like, yeah, this girl is not going to be as understanding as Sasha was.
Hell no.
So I don't know what that's going to be like for Nina to kind of lose Charlotte in that way because you know it's funny
What?
because there was a point where like Nina had a good relationship with Jocelyn.
Nina's always losing somebody in her life. She can't keep more than one.
It's that parallel of Nina versus, like, a younger person, right? So she was
True.
dating Jax and got along super well with Jocelyn, and it wasn't until the whole Sunny thing or stuff like that that happened that Jocelyn sort of turned. And then it was weird
Yes.
because Jocelyn was much younger at the time, like, when all of this was happening, and, I mean, she couldn't handle it. She never really treated Jocelyn like a kid the moment she got mad. She comfortably had a feud with someone significantly younger than her. Um, and now I think you might have a little bit of that with Charlotte. Like, we saw what she did to Anna.
Well, yeah, there's definitely gonna be some revenge happening.
So, I think it's like it's massive betrayal for Charlotte, but I just think this whole thing, like some couples over others have the potential for just so much drama and I'm loving it. And the Carly Valentine potential romance, so much freaking conflict. The most obvious is this. The Nina Sunny thing didn't work out, right? And it wasn't
Yeah.
just like Nina Sunny. Nina was also very fixated on Carly and the idea that I can step in and be like her, right? Like
Yes.
Sunny has had many women, Carly the most longstanding, but being with Sunny comes with being a role, right? You're the wife of a mobster, and with it comes like a lot of responsibility. And that was the place that Nina felt like I could stand in. They were big shoes, right? Wife of Sunny, very big shoes. And so she couldn't really hack it in that world, and
No,
I think it's gonna kill her, this idea that Carly and Valentine, like, she would fit. She would fit.
she
She would fit
would.
with Charlotte. Charlotte already trusts her, or Charlotte's already grateful watching the way that Carly really is protecting her dad, even though she's cousins to Lulu. In terms of loyalty and how Charlotte sees things, Carly is high up there.
Oh, yeah, big time.
A person I can talk to that, like, understands my dad, that I don't have to protect, that sees him and maybe in the way that I do.
And
Like
sees Charlotte for who she is as well, not just a kid,
exactly!
but somebody who's, like, lived on the run.
So already here, if this were to come to be, right, it affects
It
who
has
Charlotte
to.
spends time with. Oh, it totally will. But imagine the conflict between Carly and Lulu, because now we find out that Charlotte not only told Danny, but that Rocco knows. Do you think that Rocco found out in that moment where exactly Valentine was?
I feel like yes. I
Yeah,
couldn't read
right?
his face very much, but I feel like yes, because they wanna tell him as little as possible.
But I was shocked, but I mean, they had no choice, right? Why else would they be there? I was trying to see my dad. They would have
Exactly.
to say where. But I feel like it's kind of a huge secret for Rocco to keep from his mom. Like, Carly has him. Like, it's bad.
It's so bad, and I love that they're like, "You're a terrible liar. You are awful at hiding things from your mom."
Exactly. But I think, but I can also see that based on his experience with Brit, and I mean, they're close. They tell each other what it feels like, and they both have to hide things from Lulu. So I think that maybe this is something that Rocco can do for Charlotte. And he obviously wouldn't want to be left out,
Yes.
having just Danny. No, but this is going to break Rocco's heart. And that's the weak link, I think, because if he stumbles upon like a Danny Charlotte romance, is he gonna like
Mhm.
then be like ratting out Valentine and Carly?
I honestly can't see that. Like, we've seen some growth. We've seen him making some choices, like you said about Brit and maintaining that relationship, maintaining his relationship with Danny as a brother. I think it's more gonna be, like that sibling conflict that they're gonna try to push as opposed to like a revenge, getting them in trouble type situation.
I really hope so, but you understand the siblings is the fact that they're both his siblings.
I
So
know.
when you say siblings, I'm like, what siblings are you referring to exactly?
Maybe the
His brother and
brother,
sister.
like, I don't
Man.
it is complicated.
But do you realize who they are, right?
Jason and AJ and Kylie?
No, I see Rocco as Sonny, right? Because this is his grandson. I mean, not romantically, but I just mean friendship-wise,
Oh,
loyalty.
friendship-wise. Got it,
Right?
got it,
You
got it.
have, like,
Oh,
Sunny,
yeah, yeah,
Jason, Carly, but
yeah.
that's how I was seeing Danny and Charlotte. I This is what I felt. I felt like when you have those 2 together, Danny and Charlotte could be my Jason, Carly fix. Like, I can get my Jason, Carly fix through them, like a whole what if storyline. That's how I kinda see them.
I do love that, and I actually loved, like, before it got to the point of where it did, the conversation they had just about being honest about who they are and that people don't specifically see them in the way that they see each other, and I thought that was really beautiful because that is like Carly and Jason, like, the world sees
Yeah!
them a certain way and they live under certain pressures, but at the end of the day, they are who they are, and those 2 will be there for each other and accept each other, and it was
Like,
just, like, really lovely.
it was. Like, I have to say, Danny and Charlotte definitely got me like, "Oh my gosh, I'm kind of excited for this." It was fun. Like, it really
Yeah.
hit. It really hit with those 2. I think this is gonna be good. But yeah, the drama. So that's what I mean. Like, some couples are just gonna have a little bit more drama than others. And I think it's really funny because if you have Danny and Charlotte as a thing, that links Valentine and Jason.
Yes.
Right? Okay. Okay. So speaking of Valentine, obviously he
Oh
was
my
freaked out
word,
knowing
this
that
man.
Charlotte was missing. Charlotte hoped Danny would help. But the point is, I really wish Danny was like, "Hey, Charlotte, I have Carly's number." You know what I was thinking?
Honestly.
You know what I was thinking? Why don't we call her? Why don't we text her? We can like call her and just say the thing you're worried about.
Yes,
Just a
that's so,
thought.
like, 2000s, like, you don't call people.
Oh my gosh, like the whole time, like I understood her worry. But at the
Yes.
same time, I'm like, why are you acting like your dad is only accessible through a snowstorm and a hike through the woods when you literally can like call or text Carly?
Exactly, like, they could come up with their own code, really easy to kinda disguise, make sure, like, the package is safe.
Something of the sort. Either way,
Mhm.
we all know Charlotte's safe, and I'm glad that we didn't have a storyline where they were like out in the storm. But all this just
Same.
to get them into like Michael and Willow's little cottage. And now we know that the cottage is very far from the main house and closer to the forest.
Yes, we have some more, lay of the land.
Yeah, more geography. Okay. So, Carly and Valentine, they
Lady,
interact. How did you feel about their interactions?
okay, but, like, when did it become hot to say, "Let's play checkers," and somebody agreeing with you? Like, I don't even know.
Everything they do. My favorite line is like, "When you
Oh, I know what you're
actually
gonna
listen
say.
to me, it's really annoying." And it's more just the vibes. And this is what I get from both of them, is that 1, I was thinking, has she ever listened to Jason that well?
No, never.
Right? Like, when he says words, they reverberate in her soul, and she acts upon them without a fight, right?
Yeah.
Her and Jason, there's drama. No, yes, no, yes, oh, and upset, right? But this was very like, I hear you, I take this seriously. Okay. And I just find those 2 to be equals, like the way he treats her, like the fact that even like a few weeks ago when he sent her to do that like mission in Brennan's hotel, he's like, I believe in you, you can do it. Like he was telling her to go
Yeah.
do something risky,
Yes.
you know? Like like no one's ever really treated Carly like she was competent.
Love everything you're saying because for lack of a better way of saying it, it's like her grown-up relationship. It's not
Exactly.
lust. It's not for a reason that's kind of a little bit out of her control. It is like truly since the beginning a decision that she made to dress up as a lawyer and go visit him in jail, and they've established their own relationship, their own trust and respect for each other. And then you contrast that with the off-screen lovemaking that we've seen, and quite comical. Like, I am
Um,
so invested in Carly and Valentine, like, they have to be together. Like, they've already drawn me in with every
so
single
much.
conversation, the delivery of their lines, the way they look at each other, the way they look out for each other. Like, when she went to go get him from the storm, and he's like, "You came to get me, like,
Yes.
you were gonna." I was like, "Oh my god.
And
Oh my
but
god,
her
it's gonna
face,
happen."
she got all embarrassed, like her crush caught her. She's like, "No, I wasn't. I was getting air." Just like it was so crazy them talking and also her divulging something really vulnerable, saying like, "I know what it's like to lose a parent and I know what it's
Oh,
like to lose a
yes.
child." I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is so deep." And that's the point. There's just so much depth there. And I think I have the answer into why that is. But yeah, no, they're crazy together. And then when you compare Jason and Britt, okay, when you were talking about all these things off screen, this is what irked me. So many things
Mhm.
irked me. Do you want it? Do you want all the lists of the things that irked me?
Yes, before we go to
Um,
Irk, I just have to say some more hot things.
we're gonna come
Uh,
back. You
oh, we're gonna
you
come
think
back. We're
this
gonna
is
circle back,
you
girl.
think this is
Yes.
over?
Yes.
Whoa, it is not over. Carly and Valentine. This is what irked me.
I love it.
Random wet emergency. Excuse me? I don't think so.
That's like the name of a
Wow.
movie on 18 plus.
But this is what I mean. Carly and Valentine don't need a random wet emergency to
Exactly.
create heat. We had to like fast forward. We had to like let's shift the pacing. And you know what he said to her? Do you know
What
what he
the?
said to her?
Tell me.
I'll always find you. And I'm like, excuse me?
Ew.
If I'm not mistaken, that is something you said to Carly 1,000 times in these montages where you kept saving her. Like showing up because
Yes.
Sunny, whenever she was married to him, couldn't be bothered.
And this is exactly it. He is reliving some heyday, trying to rewrite some time in his life. It is bonkers.
Oh, yes. Well, there's more. Okay. So not only does he say, I will always find you, they tried to give these two music.
I
They tried
know.
to give these two
Yeah.
a song. And I was like, I just can't with this because there's a massive distinction between Carly and Valentine and Jason and Britt. Okay. This is the big one. Carly and Valentine know exactly who they are. Whereas Jason
Yes.
is playing, we barely dated, but I will impose history on us and the devotion I'm
Yes.
known for. My signature devotion. Okay. You think it was a scent, but it's just my
Exactly. I
behavior.
was
It's
just
a
gonna
pattern.
say
It's
that.
a pattern. And so you have him who, I don't know, he's died so many times. He just has never had a chance to settle. And then Britt is a complete mess. Like she went from
Oh,
evolving
yeah.
at one point, and now she's in crisis mode. And to top it off, in terms of him, like to be honest, I find what he's reliving with Britt is a Carly. The reason why I'm choosing to compare Britt to Carly rather than let's say comparing her to Sam is
Uh-huh.
that the thing with Britt is that she's misunderstood. And the truth is
Yes.
Sam was never necessarily misunderstood or a pariah or not really liked, you know? I think with Britt they really are way closer to his dynamic with Carly. Like, "Oh my gosh, only I know you're good because the world thinks you're rotten, and I
Yeah.
know you would do anything for that boy, just like Carly would do anything for Michael." So it's really weird, but he's living in an alternate universe where he gets to be with Carly, and I just find
It's
it so bizarre.
Nixonville.
So bizarre. Whereas I think the huge distinction of why we're falling so hard for Carly and Valentine is that these are people with a history. They both evolved. It didn't stop. Like Brit's evolution, it got like cut
Mhm.
and we're like, "What? What's happening now?" And so I feel like with Carly and Valentine, these are both people who have evolved. They're very layered, they're very gray. Like an example in, let's say, their interactions. You know, Carly saying, I can separate Valentine the man and Valentine the father. So I just
Yes.
feel like they really do understand each other and they know who they are as people. And I think that really contributes to the depth of their connection because they're both solid people. So it's like, I just feel that when I let's say, go into their world, this is something I could trust. Like, this is one of those things that I really truly feel can be like a new chapter. You know, like Luke and Laura was Luke and Laura, like they're epic, but she's not Luke and Laura anymore. And I also thought it was beautiful how Tracy actually
Yes.
tackled that this week. But I really think like we could see an era of just Carly and Valentine. And I think I don't think anybody could have expected it. Like, I would have never ever thought this pairing, but I think this could be bigger than I think we've ever thought it could be. And this is also one of those couples that I think will draw a lot of attention, cause a lot of friction. I mean, look, I think it'll irk Nina and that'll be really dramatic. Not because she has any kind of hold over Valentine now, but I think it'll just be weird for her, her stuff against Carly. But this is going to be strange having, let's say, Valentine maybe be angry at Nina once he finds out the deal with like Brennan, how Sunny is going to
Mhm.
feel about this connection, how Jason is going to feel about this connection. Like it's going to cause so much drama. And I think that's also what's fun because this is a solid couple and such a contrast, right? Because Sunny and Nina were something that caused a lot of friction, but they didn't have anything real. So it was never going to
Exactly.
last. But this is one of those couples where it's like, yeah, people are going to talk, but this is real because Carly and Valentine really don't owe anybody else anything.
Oh, what I so love about this is that the two men who she keeps close in her circle have not really evolved. Like Sunny's love life, it's always the repetition of the same thing. Either is
Mhm.
trying to convince somebody or hate somebody and falls into bed. There's no growth there. There's no longevity. Like Carly was like the biggest relationship and the most mature relationship of his life.
Carly has been the longest relationship for both of these men. I mean, obviously there was Sam too, but toward the end they were going like they outgrew each other ultimately. And with Jason, it's like he always needs to be someone's hero. Like he can't just be an equal.
I love this so much because when everything went down and Jason
Mhm.
died again, I can't remember what time this was. When Carly really had to find her space and she took the Spencer name back, and we saw that journey kind of at one part really intense and then slowly throughout the years and him coming back. And, we talked about the distance between her and Jason, and all of this is kind of making more sense. Like he's stuck in time and she just continues to grow. She's grounded. She's lived life. She's experienced things. She's now independent. She has a loving family around her. Like, I love that they put her in a position of growth and these two men are still stunted. But it makes more sense to me about the whole pause on the Carly Jason relationship. Like, they may always be best friends, but the way they're pushing the storyline now and the continued growth of Carly and her character, like, yes, some people are going to be left behind and that's going to be hard.
I mean, forever disappointed of how they handled the Carly
Yes,
Jason
of
thing,
course.
but I will say, like, the thing that I had appreciated, like, even, like, while he was gone was, like, Carly's journey and growth because we saw how she was, even because back then it was just her and Sunny still
Yes.
remaining, and just the fact that she had carved out her own life. So, I mean, I love that they kept that, but they also highlighted, let's say, Jason's situation through Sunny as well. Because I'm like, when has this ever happened? Because usually it's Sunny and Jason being like, Carly's doing something stupid, or Carly and Jason being like, Sunny's making another stupid decision. But this is the first time that Carly and Sunny think that Jason's making a bad decision investing in Brit.
Yes.
So I think that definitely speaks to it. And I think the conversation last week really cemented where they are. Like Carly kind of pretty much said it to his face. And I think they really
Yes.
cemented in terms of growth that Carly's in a good place. And I mean, Jason has ways to go.
Yes, he really does.
So these people were not dead previously. Well, some were, but coma. These are,
They were sleeping hard.
yeah. So from people that were previously dead to people who've been sleeping horde and recently awake, Nathan and Lulu. So the moment these two were trapped, by the way, can I just say, we know that General Hospital is filmed weeks in advance, but can I say how
Yes.
cool it was that their polar vortex aligned with our polar vortex?
No, that was, like, mind-blowing. I, like, loved it hard.
I was like, "This can't be." They said polar vortex. And I'm like, "I feel like I'm there." And so when I saw Nathan and Lulu, like, mean, I I mean, you would assume they would move these 2 along, but I did not anticipate seeing what I saw.
Okay, but you know what was really funny? I never ever caught the name of that cafe until I read Charlotte's text message. Did you catch the name of the cafe?
I saw it a while ago because I was doing something else, but I remember it being like, "The name's really weird. It's something Jen."
Bad
Bad
Jen
Jen.
Cafe.
Yeah, and I remember at the time being like, that's why I learned the name because it was, I wrote it as, like, one of the Port Charles spots, like, to choose to be at. So I discovered
Yes.
names of so many businesses I wasn't fully aware of. But yeah,
So funny.
so I was like, first of all, how do you know Jen? How do you know anybody in Port Charles, to be honest? You've been gone
Yeah,
for
thank you
7
very
years.
much.
You're friends. You just came back and you got a friend who owns a cafe. Cool. And this, I could not. I could not with this moment. When Lulu said, "Are we breaking and entering? Are you joking? Do you remember Martin's hotel room?" Okay. Yeah, let's ask that question like you care. I couldn't with that. And then, so we saw the kiss happen yesterday, right? The kiss.
Yes.
He went in, but she also went in. Today there's no question. Like when I saw the remainder of that kiss, I was taken aback. I was taken so far back and I laughed. So look, I am just like, ew, what? But what's drawing me to these two is the level of drama that will ensue as a result. And I mean, we knew this was going to happen. And to be honest, it's like they have a bond that is like no other. Who else could
Right?
be like, I know what coma bonding is. Stop acting like you can only understand that between each other. They can only understand it between each other. But then what happens when Maxie was like, well, I was in a coma for a few months. I didn't hook up with Dante. Well, no, when she, you know what I mean. But it's so
I do.
bad, right? Like Maxie does her nails and then Lulu's like this. Like this is really complicated because, you know, for Maxie, Nathan's dead. And when he wakes up, it's like, what? You're alive? My husband's alive. But then she has the complication of Spinelli. But for Nathan, he's had time to process the fact that like Maxie no longer belongs to him.
Yes.
And as much as Spinelli, look, he's worried. He wants to believe she'll wake up and want to continue their life together because of time that's passing. And I mean, ultimately, that's what happened between Dante and Lulu. But it
Yes.
just looks weird. It looks so weird, especially if you think about the previous storyline where Maxie was running around defending her. Like with this storyline, to me, that makes sense. Maxie went out of her way to give Lulu all the grace in the world and all the chances in the world when that whole Brooklyn mess was going on.
Okay, can we just like I know timeline is weird and poor Charles,
Yeah.
but how long do you
Mhm.
think Nathan's been back?
Not very long at all. Like a couple of months. Like Britt hasn't been back very long.
Exactly. So it's like he's just
No,
processed his
I
whole
think he
life.
can make a good decision. And I absolutely believe that Lulu can make good decisions.
And you have Lulu. The first thing she did was destroy a bunch of people's lives,
Yeah.
live in the past, yell at a bunch of people,
Yes.
and then she figured it out.
But now now is she living in the past future? Because Nathan is the past, but he could be her future. And to be honest, like maybe coma people should be with other coma people.
But is this coma guy who he says he really is?
I don't know. We almost got tricked with the periodic table.
I know. It really threw me.
And she's like, your dad? And I'm like, he was raised by a dad. You know, he like, yes, he's on. Is his biological father, but there was a dad. Like I remember like Nina's dad favored her and Madeline hated that. So I love how she
Yeah,
like it just looked like she caught something and then he explained
I
that
know.
yeah, I had a dad I grew up with and he was a jerk to me. But it's just so bad because if you think about like Maxie waking up, and I mean of course she's no longer mad at Lulu for Nathan's death, but I feel like that's gonna
But
come to the surface.
yes, I can just picture Maxie like shouting it at them.
And oh, but could you imagine? Like, cause that has to happen where he's like, "I don't blame her. I get
I love her.
her." Yeah, it's gonna be so bad. I don't know why I'm
Right.
laughing, but I'm like, I'm smiling from ear to ear. But this is one of those couples that is just explosive. And the worst part is, it's like, I don't even hate Lulu for this. It was inevitable.
I
Like
don't.
it's where it was
Yeah.
going. But I do feel it needed to happen now because Maxie's returning quickly. So they
Yes,
really
in like
needed
2
to like,
weeks.
yeah, so they definitely needed to jump into this. And I think it's gonna be brutal. I think we're gonna see a longing storyline, right? Maxie comes, she doesn't know what to do, she's conflicted. And then there's Lulu also pining. It's gonna be crazy. I think we're gonna feel things. I think we're gonna feel like heartache and longing, like whatever Molly was trying to convey in her book. I think we're gonna feel it with this storyline.
Okay, there was also a lot of chatter about the long johns. They're long johns. They're not white pants.
Yeah, they're long johns. So,
Exactly.
you know what I did? I took a picture of Molly, like on the stairs, all sad at the end of today's
Yeah.
episode, because what popped into my head was this: I too would want to see how one sleeps with horses, like how
Right?
I would want to be like, and it's sad. I'm like, so did you kick the horse out? Like, where's the
Right?
horse?
Where's the horse? Where's Hades?
And I'm like, he lives in a horse house for a reason. But this guy, like, to be honest, I do question, are you stupid though? Like, maybe you are. Like, how can you not understand that the book character isn't you? You're a cowboy, but like the fact that he's like, can't understand that the character was inspired by him, or he too used to be frustrated with Molly and didn't care for her very much. And these were like passing thoughts. And then she said, like, yeah, but did you not read the rest of the book? And he didn't. And I question. the question, can you finish reading the rest of the book so you can shut up about this? Like, he was just so dramatic. He's like, well, what am I supposed to do with this knowledge? And like, process it and move on and be like, oh, that's not what she thinks of me. Like, why would she be with you? It's like accusing her of just wanting to like pass the time with him. It's like, that's not who she is. It took her a lot to come to you, and she was vulnerable. So why can't you understand that book guy is fictional and in words, and you're a real person, and that's different?
It's the thing, though. It's like, even if he does get over him, if I were Molly, I'd be like,
I'm concerned.
I need I need some space. I need to find somebody who knows they're really a real human and not a character.
Or she can write somebody who's more sane and show it to him and be like, "Is it
That's
working?
true.
Are you the same person?" Like, it's just
Oh my,
whatever.
it's
They
a bit
had their
much.
first fight in a snowstorm, and it just kinda sucked for them because pretty much everyone else was having a decent time. I would say even Tracy and Martin kinda came to a decent place.
I absolutely love like early star to Tracy describing relationships, analyzing
Yeah.
Martin and who he is and what he looks for. Like we were wondering how this whole lead up to a possible romantic connection would happen with them. And in that moment, I was definitely sucked in at her just being confident in herself, speaking about her past and the love of her life and what that represents for her, even when Martin was being a jerk.
Yeah, yeah, she kept her calm, and honestly, like, you hated Martin so much that you were like, "No, there's no way forward. He's
Yes,
too
I
bad of a person." You were so mad, and the fact
so
is when
mad.
he said, "You ruined my life," immediately I'm thinking, "Oh, it's the money thing?" And then he
Yeah, me
said,
too.
"Lucy?" And I was like, "Lucy?" And that's when you're like, "That's so interesting that, like, okay, you picked Lucy, not the making him poor thing," and the fact that he brought up a romantic issue, I was like, "Alright, so it's gonna
I
happen." Like,
know.
they're really
Gonna
lighting a
happen.
fire under, like, the whole romance for, like, a lot of people. Like, we were, like, romance dead for so
We
long on
were.
this soap, and all
Good.
of a sudden exactly, it's been such a ugh, poor Elizabeth. Why couldn't she get locked up somewhere with
Mm,
someone? It's so
yeah.
unfair, but now we have, like, a crap ton of couples about to pop into town right in time for spring.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. No, I really like them together, and I'm hoping, like, Martin understood her. Like, I love the advice she gave him. He's like, "I'll always find someone because 'cause I'm open." She's like, "No, because 'cause you're an easy mark," and I thought that line was great.
So
And something
good.
else that was quite layered, though she didn't say, right? She talked about her relationship with Luke, but what she never mentioned, and this has come up before, and in a comment she made to Michael, is the fact that just like Martin, she has felt used by a lot of people. I guess the difference is
Yeah,
Martin doesn't realize he's being used until the divorce, but
true.
Tracy realizes that she's being used. So they have definitely a lot in common there. And I just think it was really significant to like it was so strange for me. Like, because we talk about, let's say, Luke and Laura and the fact that we value, Luke and Tracy's relationship, as well as the relationship Laura had with Kevin. Like, I love the beginning of their romance. It was great.
Mhm.
And just having it talked about on the soap opera itself was
Right?
really interesting, how she explained, like, "That has nothing to do with what I had." And,
I love
like,
it.
even for Martin, I'm like, "Come on, you've lived a lot of life." This whole idea that that Luke and Laura it's like, Laura is with Kevin. Like, Luke and Laura stopped being Luke
Exactly.
and Laura a long time ago, and the fact that he felt that just because they were together so long and it was known as epic, that somehow that would outshine how things ended, it's like, no, everyone moved on.
Well, it just shows how, the point was to show us so little he knows about
Yeah.
love and relationships and being yourself. But yeah, I liked their time together surprisingly.
Well, I mean, he's not the only one who knows little about love and relationships. Trina's definitely on that same boat.
Well, she does have Curtis's fake DNA.
Oh my gosh. Today, when she said to her mom, I don't think I can forgive you for what you did to dad and the family, Johnny goes, which dad?
All of
But
them.
the fact that she keeps bringing that up, I'm mad about like, that's the whole point, though. I'm mad about what you did to dad. It's like, yeah, I know it's hard, but you think about, I mean, look, this is obviously not a fair comparison, but you know how, like, Carly says, I can separate Valentine the man from the father. I just think
Mhm.
even for Trina, like, I get it, right? Like, it's your family and it's your parents and you're an only child and you're very involved. But I do think it's hard. And I think that also demonstrates, her lack of life experience and maturity, that there is a distinction between who people are in a relationship and who they are as parents. And the fact that she right now is in a place where she's mixing up the two. Like, one thing I did realize about Trina as I was watching it this week is that she's exactly like her dad. And I love that we got to have that because I was getting so angry and frustrated in the conversation with Portia, but I was happy that Portia stayed calm. Just like how Tracy stayed calm with Martin, I found that Portia really stayed as calm as possible talking to Trina, but it was able to say, like, you're just like your dad. It's so easy to judge. And just like her dad, who judges really easily, and he bounces back between one wife and another. And I realized with Trina, she did that. It's very simplistic thinking, you know? At first it was, oh my gosh, I'm siding with mom. Dad's really bad because Jordan's around. And then it was like, no, dad's really amazing because mom did something. It's like the actions don't erase each other. They're just more actions altogether that make this very layered and complicated. And, it's not about the order of action. Like, well, at first dad did this thing and then mom did this thing. It's like, no, all of these things happen and one doesn't erase the other. And I find that so bizarre that, like, because of what Portia did, it erases the roles that all the other adults played. And the truth is, Jordan did play a role. She could have stayed away and she knew better and she didn't. Mind you, she owed nothing to Portia or Curtis. She wasn't involved in this relationship, but she made her choices and so did Curtis. And they knew what they were doing was wrong in terms of Portia. They decided that despite Portia's request for them to stay apart, that it was time and that it's all good if they talk to each other. Like, they'd made decisions together while he was married to Jordan.
It was a really interesting conversation. I love everything that you're saying. And I love the way Portia handled the situation in terms of speaking to Trina as an adult. But what was really cool for me is
Mhm.
that even though you're saying Trina is just like Curtis, Curtis is a grown man who's been married twice, who's had a child. Trina acting the way that she is acting right now is really her learning about relationships. And yes, she's taken the lead from her dad, but I feel like they placed it in that way because for Trina, at least there's a chance and room to grow to understand that gray space because it's inevitable that she will be living in that gray space at some
Oh,
point or
yeah.
another. And I loved that, it was a multi-day conversation. And one of the lines that stuck out for me is like towards the end of their conversations is that, and it's something that we've talked about, that Trina said, even though I forgave you when I found out that you had lied about my father, I felt like I was rushed to forgiveness and I never really
Mhm,
had a
mhm.
chance to process it. And I still feel a lot of pain. So it's like her pain was coming out in all these different ways because her herself as a young adult is still processing how to be a child who's been lied to, how to see their parents as complete adults with faults, and there's
Yeah.
not one straight path. So I just love the complexity of her responses, but of course her go-to responses are going to be those of her parent. But she has room to grow, whereas Curtis is a grown man that's stunted.
Yeah, I think she's reacting a lot like Curtis, like very black and white. But
Hmm.
exactly that, I do agree that while there are similarities with Curtis, this is just who Curtis is. But I definitely think because she's so young, this is where she's starting. And
Yes.
even lines like this from Portia that you can feel the way you feel, but just know if you ever make a mistake, I will love you the same.
Yes.
And I apologize for ever making you feel that you have to be perfect.
Loved it.
So I really loved all of that stuff because there's gonna be a time where Trina is gonna be doing some gray space stuff, and the person that's gonna be there for her is Portia. I think that
Hmm.
Curtis has had his moments where he's realized he's rigid, like they verbally said it, and he's even made comment to Trina, like, "You're a lot like me." So, I mean, I think his growth is definitely a lot slower, but I think it's gonna be so fascinating to watch Trina because you can't be this judgmental and not find yourself on the other side of a situation. But
Hmm.
I hope she comes to terms with kind of what you pointed out. Like, I am hurt, and maybe it's possible for me to actually process and move on from this hurt and other hurts too. And
Yes.
so she might just need space, but I can understand Portia's concern about like what does this mean for our future? And I really
Hmm.
appreciated how Portia came in and just took her role back. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
reminding her that she does not to need to be a perfect mother to be her mother, and that some issues are for grown folks, and that's just that. So I kinda love that she was soft and gentle, but also like a confrontation of the sense that you can be angry as much as you want, but it doesn't change who I am, and I only owe you so much.
Yes.
I don't owe you all my mistakes. I made them, sure, but, like, this is ridiculous. So I really that was definitely a conversation I'm glad happened, and I'm glad that it was like you pointed out, it was a lengthy conversation, and I think we needed the storm to do it because otherwise it would have been different, and at least I feel that this conversation moved things forward a little bit or created at least some room for the 2 of them.
Yes, I totally agree.
Okay. So back to the controversy of Windermere and what it looks like. Joss managed to get in, but I mean, I don't know. It's so tricky. She got in. She's coming face to face with Cullum. She did stumble upon some really significant information that she can't share with anyone.
Mhm.
But it's tricky because isn't he not going to say something that she came back? And how is that going to make sense to anyone that she did? I also didn't know there was another island.
Same, I learned that too.
Can I also just say that when it came to Britt and Jason, I was
Mhm.
very uninterested in her boat story. Like they had to work so hard
I know.
to create a backstory for her off-screen wet emergency. Like, I almost died and you saved me. I'm like, okay, I guess you got
Cool,
to date her
cool.
now because you saved her life and you got to save her. And she needs saving and she's in trouble. Like, can he ever have a relationship with someone who's not in trouble?
Not yet. He needs another 10 years of growth.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, so Jocelyn. Jocelyn blew
Yes.
up some stuff and she ends up there. And I don't know, it's really scary. Like it leaves off today where she's like sitting, reading at the book, and then they're like eyeing each other.
Yes. Oh, I'm freaked out.
I'm very freaked out. I honestly thought that when Brennan got the call, Cullum had made her, or at least was going to ask him about her, and then he was going to leave to try to go deal with Jocelyn, because poor Carly having to psych herself up. I knew it. The glasses, I was like, they're going to be found out by
Ugh.
the glasses.
I just felt so bad for Carly. One, the near convo. Then they had to do it on the couch so that Valentine wouldn't find out. And then Valentine's just laying on his cot in the air quotes attic.
Yeah,
So
really
sad.
sad. But that's the thing, though, because one of the elements about this storyline, like when Jason told Carly, and then obviously she chose to stay dating him. I figured, oh, well, since Jason knows he'll be involved in this storyline and he'll be the support when she has to do things she doesn't want to do. But I realized, well, obviously not. They're living two separate stories. And that's going to be Valentine. I wonder how he's going to react. They're getting close. And if he sees that it's hard for her, like, I don't know. Like, it's complicated and so dramatic. I love
It's
it.
it's so complicated because all I'm thinking is like, well, she's having a time with Brennan. She's picturing Valentine. And just that's how
I
she got
mean,
through
like, we're gonna learn. We're gonna learn
it.
how she got through it at some point because he's definitely like, the end point is certainly Valentine for sure, but back at Windermere, I just have to say this. If Britt was leaving on a damn boat and Ava was gonna leave 2 seconds later, why not leave on her boat?
Honestly.
Like, who are these people going to an island during the snowstorm? 1. Ava, like, "Yeah, let's leave." "Oh, no, I don't want it to get back to Sunny that I left with you." And I'm like, he doesn't care. He gave you a
He
warning and he
really
knows you're
doesn't.
gonna run to Jen's. Like, nobody cares. It's fine. Go do your thing over there. But the whole thing with it got really dicey with Lucas walking in on
Yes.
Brit and Marco this week tantruming to Cullum, "Oh, my dad won't kill Sonny." And then he couldn't even be bothered to step up to make an excuse that Brit had to come up with it.
It's so bad because I'm just wondering if Jens is going to have a talk with him later because he basically undermined his dad, who is a very scary man. How is that going to work when you just threw your dad under the bus to the WSB director?
Yeah, like, honestly, and then there was this part, Lucas and Ava catching that Lucas is also a doctor. I did not.
Yes.
So I did not. And I have to admit that moment I loved Brit's, like, sly laugh, like, I don't know how you're gonna explain this one.
Hmm.
But I think that look, Lucas and Britt are gonna be friends, and we've talked about all of these players being involved when things go south on Windermere, and I definitely
Yes.
think that the situation on Windermere is gonna bring Lucas and Britt closer together, and that's gonna be fun for me to kind of watch. But they're gonna be connected, right? Britt, Lucas, Carly, Jason, like all of it. It's gonna
Yes.
be fun, like a fun kind of combo, but I think definitely Lucas and Britt are gonna come out as friends here. One line that I did not really like was Lucas, I think, said to Jen about Carly when he found out that he had invited that,
Yeah.
Carly can come whenever. And then he says, "You're inviting that kind of crazy into your house?" I was
I was
like,
shocked.
really? Wait till you find out that the man you're talking to is Anna in your basement and shot someone in your living room. Like, chill.
And that your boyfriend is just like cuckoo bananas. Like, just wait until you find out who is actually crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I think like that statement in the context of just standing in Windermere talking to Jen Sidwell, I feel just shows how, lost Lucas is right now. So I think when all of this comes to a head, it's going to be interesting. I mean, not as satisfying as, let's say, Chase coming to terms with the truth, but I still
Mm.
think it's going to be something I really can't wait for him to see the massive danger. Even his niece was out protecting him.
Right? It's so
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so my favorite line was the one that you said earlier about Valentine when he was talking to Carly. So, like, I'm all out of favorite lines. Do you have any?
No, I don't have any more favorite lines, but a lot of freaking stars, I think. I love a
So
snowstorm.
many. Go, go.
I was just so happy for just a town crisis. We haven't had one in a long time, and it was
So
nice that it
true.
was, like, a cozy one, and nobody kinda lost somewhere. Everybody was just like, "Hey, I could date you maybe," in their situation, so that was kinda cool. So, look, I mean, massive gold stars to Carly Valentine. I like the Trina. I mean, it was an infuriating conversation, but happy it was had between Trina and
Yes.
Portia. Charlotte, Danny, feel sorry for Rocco.
Yes.
Tracy Martin. Look, I'll give Joss for blowing up something for the first time. And I just need to say this about like Brit's whole situation. Like, I understand that she's leaning on Jason and now they're like bonded for life. But if
Hmm.
she had told Liesel, Liesel would have walked in there and solved all the whole thing. Like, I'm just saying.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Yeah.
The whole story's driving me crazy. Yeah, so all
Brick gets a
stars to
star.
everybody,
Yeah.
1000%. Brick had some great outfits and shoes and all the rest. I'm just gonna give like a smaller star to Brit and Jace.
Yeah, I was not saying that at all. But I will look, I'm gonna give a star to Lulu and Nathan. I am. Like,
Yes, I agree.
it happened, they had a moment, it's gonna bring problems, and I know a lot of people were bringing up the fact that, like, Maxie once stole, like, Johnny Zakara from
Okay.
Lulu, but I will say this, it's totally not the same level as husbands, like, Johnny Zakara is a thing of the past, and
Yes.
Dante and Nathan are ultimately their most significant relationships, so this is gonna be huge, and honestly, I'm super excited for it because I've shifted, right? Lulu, in this situation, it's so wrong on paper, but part of me is like, I feel bad, it makes sense for her. You know what I mean? Like, to go from being
Yes.
so mad at her in the Brooklyn situation to
So
this
true.
where I'm actually a bit more understanding even though it's so complicated. Like, I gasped, I can't believe she really did that, but I'm like, "But I knew it was coming, and they fit right now." I just
Exactly.
yeah, it makes me feel all kinds of mixed stuff, and it's gonna cause so many problems. I like, it's gonna be great.
Okay, so much mixed emotion. Is this gonna be your cutie pie moment?
Those 2? I don't know. No. Let's not go that far. I
So
would
what
say
would be your cutie pie moment of the week?
I mean, Danny and Charlotte, they were like babies. They're so cute.
Okay, fair. They are
I
actually
mean, they're
really cute.
family, you know? Family moments.
Stop. Okay, why don't you let people know what your handle is?
Yeah, it's at Cutie Pie Coloring on Instagram, but you can always just go on Amazon and look up Cutie Pie Coloring. And there's a link on our Instagram page for anybody you know who's shopping for a little kiddo or keeping anybody busy, really, in these winter vortex months.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, folks. We talked about all the things. We covered all of the stuff. That's a wrap, folks. Have a fantastic weekend. Bye bye.
Bye.